Since it began, Super League has grown year on year, and 2003 was the best yet. It was the season of great drama. McDonald fancies the glory himself! McDonald! It was the season of breathtaking skill. Gleeson goes inside, Kevin Brown! Gleeson! What a start for the Saints! It was the season of unexpected heroes. What a try! A hat-trick for Robinson! And it was the season that gave us a feeling. After losing the World Club Challenge to the Sydney Roosters, St Helens hosted the curtain raiser for Super League 8, playing Bradford in a replay of the 2002 Grand Final.
Here's a kick from Scotland!
It's a try for Barry Ward! And it's now Saints who are examining that Bulls defence. Quick play, the ball from Britt. Quick hands from the Saints, wide. They're in again. He's in his Kirkpatrick. Stewart on the last, plays the ball to Joint. Joint long with the kick over the top. Whoa, wicked bounce. Wicked bounce. Scofield behind the sticks. Hooper's running wild. Hooper! Jason Hooper. His first try for St Helens. And Bradford have got no answer to this. It's with Deacon now. There's the kick from Deacon. Bradford 10 metres away. Lowe's wide to Price. He'll come back this way. Leon Price. Hey, they maybe not completely done and dusted yet, the Bulls. Stankovic and Britt. Brilliant! What a pass from Britt, and brilliantly picked up by Sculthorpe, who claims his second.
I suppose it was just nice to get a wake-up call the very first game of the season, that perhaps we weren't quite as ready mentally and we weren't quite as fast as we thought we were, and it helped us along the way.
Halifax silenced critics in the opening round by beating London at Griffin Park, but the result wasn't going to be a sign of things to come for Tony Anderson's men.
I think we caught them a bit cold, and unfortunately for us, it probably raised the expectations of a lot of people around this club, especially the fans, that we could really do well this season. And, you know, the people that were here at the club were under no illusions that, you know, it was going to be a tough and a long, hard season, and that proved to be.
For Bradford, it was out with the new and in with the old as they made their eagerly awaited return to a redeveloped Odsal Stadium.
Massive for the fans, you know. I think they voted with their feet. I think got another 4,000 or 5,000 people on the back of going back to Odsal, and it's our spiritual home, and we'd only been away for 2, maybe 3 seasons, and it was great to get back there. The game against Wakefield was a tough game as well. They didn't buy into the script that we're going back to Odsal, we've got to win by a lot. It was a tough game and a massive crowd, 22,000, 23,000. So again, I think it was just a case of everybody was happy to be back there.
After bidding farewell to the Boulevard under Sean McRae, Hull were looking forward to success at their magnificent new home, but the London Broncos refused to follow the script.
It was Hull's first game,
you know, and it was important because with the young bunch of guys that we had together, it was very important that they weren't crumbled by inexperience or influenced by what everybody else was thinking.
This is Dimmock again, a good kick. It's a terrific kick. Well watched by Best. Oh, risky! Try!
No
Try
doubt
for
about
Nigel
it.
Roy!
No doubt about
What a
that.
blunder!
Colin Best, of course, wants to forget that game because he threw a pass to Steve Prescott in the end goal, knowing full well that Stephen probably could have got out instead of forcing a dropout, and turned out that was the only try of the game.
We just didn't get out of the blocks, really. I don't think London did. It's just one of them games where no one really looked like they wanted to win it.
In round 3, the Wildcats of Wakefield gave Wigan a real fright. They led thanks to Richard Newlove's try. But David Hodgson's last-minute touchdown clinched the points for the Warriors. And on the other side of the Pennines, St Helens continued their winning streak at home. Sean Long's hat-trick included his 100th career try. Wonderful skill! Oh, Long! 101! They don't get much better than that. He's got Long, and what a night for Sean Long! Not only the 100th, now the hat-trick. St Helens seemed certain to collect another 2 points when they met Huddersfield in round 4. But Tony Smith's men had other ideas. They were showing signs that they would be a force to be reckoned with at Fortress McAlpine.
We shocked a lot of people that day. There was a lot more faith within the squad, though. We knew that the expectations of everybody else was that we will probably go down, but we knew that we wouldn't.
It was a weekend of shock results, with London Broncos claiming their first ever league win at Wigan.
Just persisted, stick to what we were doing, and then the tide turned and we nicked a couple of tries just leading into half-time, and we were able to have a good half-time, and from then on the game flowed our way.
By round 5, Hull were showing signs of being serious contenders for the Super League crown, while Wigan's nightmare start to the season continued. They're just creaking a bit. Kick to the corner. He's claimed it. He's claimed the try.
He certainly has.
Chester with the kick. Try.
Dominated the game and controlled the game very well. I remember young Gareth Hock slipping down the short side there for a try, which was to be Wigan's only points.
They're still in with a chance. Oh, wonderful run down the blind side. Gareth Hock. What a talent. Oh, lovely dummy. Great dummy. And wide it goes. And they're in. They're in again.
You live for them games. They are the games you play for, and you want to be involved in, and because they are great when you're out on the field playing them. They're just outstanding games. Intensity's there, speed's there. It's just a really good feeling to be out there playing against them.
Over at Knowsley Road, the Rhinos were showing the form that had made them early league leaders, but they fell behind to the champions. Albert's quick, but so is Calderwood. Wonderful defence from Calderwood.
Great break, good cover defence. Should be a penalty. He's allowing the advantage, I'm sure.
This is Long, showed it to Brett. Oh, they've got 3 men on the overlap out wide. Hooper wide to Darren Smith. First blood to St Helens. Tester here for Darren Albert. Ball has got down. Keith Senior. He's over the line. Hyan, Hooper, and a header off Wellens. It comes off the post. It's still on. It's Senior. It was a gift to Senior, and Senior is away. They won't stop him. It's a cakewalk to the post for Keith Senior. They're a metre away. Sculthorpe with the kick out wide. It's going to have to be flicked back, and is to Gleeson! To Gleeson! Oh, fabulous try from Gleeson! What a try! A break from McDonald!
I've been talking to Wayne for a few weeks because he'd been getting through the line and making a mess of it, really. And we actually put into practice some drills that helped him to make the right decisions. And he didn't pass the ball on this occasion.
Takes out wide! Oh! Taking them on! McDonald fancies the glory himself! McDonald! What a try that is!
Just an outstanding try for a front row forward, and he showed he's having come from St Helens, and he's moved on in a big way, and that will give him an enormous amount of pleasure to be able to do that against a team that discarded him a couple of years previous.
The win at Saints meant Leeds were top of the table in round 6, but the Castleford Tigers found chinks in their armour. Danny Orr, dummy half now, gets the ball away, he's got it down.
Yep, that's a try, no doubt about it.
And it's Andy Lynch, I think, who's touched that down, it is.
Yep.
That's a great offload by Ferner, and this is Duneman, and that's a great offload by Duneman. Maguire for the corner.
They won't catch him.
Maguire's got the pace to get all the way home. What a star this kid is. The last one, and he is poaching, and he is Walker. And Walker spinning his way to the line, flicks the ball back inside. Poaching will score this time. Buchanan. Walker gets away. Walker to the corner to score for Leeds.
What a try! Listen, Leeds would be quite happy to settle for the draw, I tell you, but with that goal,
Burrow on his way. Applies the brakes. Takes the tackle from Gibson.
they did well.
Explosive pace from the little fella.
They put plenty of points on.
Drop goal from Duneman. He's got it. Duneman has kicked it.
I do remember the drop goal from Andrew Duneman last minute because I think it was the ugliest one I'd ever seen.
We had several opportunities to put the drop kick over. We even practiced it, but several of our kickers weren't on form when it was required, so we talked about being a little bit more composed. But on the day, if the pressure's on, you've got to have a player who's capable of doing that, and unfortunately for us, we didn't.
In the dying seconds of the game, Danny Orr still had a chance to win it for the Tigers. This the biggest kick of his year. He's missed it. Danny Orr's dragged it wide. Leeds have won it. Meanwhile, injuries forced Stuart Raper to field a team of youngsters against their old enemy St Helens on Good Friday. They miss out Jason Hooper. This is Darren Albert. Takes them on the outside. Scores the first try, Albert. Wellens for St Helens to relaunch another attack. And he's away from 2. And he's got support there from Gardner, who is quick. And Gardner tracked down by Carney. But it's with Smith. And here they come again now, the Saints. And this is Jason Hooper, who will go all the way. That is a breathtaking try. This is Briscoe. Oh, it does well. Going wide and further wide. And back on the inside. This is going to be a great Wigan try from Jekyll.
They cannot just sit back, St Helens, and think that they're going to stand and let them take the 2 points.
Not when that fella's on the field, Lamb, and here is Briscoe. And Briscoe will score the first try of the second half.
They're hanging on.
And Hyam got to him. Here's Newton. He scored! Wigan take the lead.
This is without doubt the best win I've ever been involved with. Challenge Cup was great, but we were full of players. I've never had a week like it. We had so many injuries. The young kids have done us so proud.
Widnes were producing a run of good form and went looking for their 3rd win on the trot. It was no coincidence that their winning streak had started with the signing of the former Wigan Warrior Jules O'Neill, who was at the heart of their victory at Wakefield. Now it's with Ryan Sheridan. Millard, it'll go back to Lawford. Good movement here. O'Neill! That's a terrific try for Widnes, and that will win the match for them. Warrington ensured Widnes' celebrations were short-lived in round 8, claiming a much-prized victory against the Vikings. And Wakefield came close to upsetting the Rhinos at Headingley before Andrew Doonerman saved the day once again with a timely drop goal. It looked as though Hull had won it against Castleford when Richard Horne plundered his try. But after establishing the lead of 26-10 and with 15 minutes to go, an horrific injury to Matt Crowther turned the tide of the game and put an end to his season.
I think with the time it took them to get him off the field, I think they got time to recuperate and go over go over their game plan, and I think we was all fired up and a bit overly keen to just go and we'll do this for Matty.
But what it turned out to be was a great lesson to everybody in sport. You know, we hear these cliches about playing the whistle and you play out your 80 minutes and the game's never over until the full-time siren goes. All those marvellous cliches, well, I think this was proven.
Johnson, Danny Orr. He'll get in.
Neat step. Good try.
Barnett would like to mark his trip to the jungle. Oh, it's interception off Barnett to Eager. And Eager's over under the sticks. Here's Danny Orr. Danny Orr will hoist the kick out wide, looking for Gibson. Gibson's going in. Gibson's in for the try. And Castleford could snatch a point. Bartram slides the kick home. Castleford get the most unlikely draw of the Super League season so far.
We apologise to Sean McRae after the game because we were never in it. They were totally dominant from the very first minute.
I can still remember Graham Stedman after the game apologising. You know, he couldn't apologise enough and kept saying to him, well, you don't need to apologise. I mean, you know, it was just one of those things that happens in sport.
Leeds-Wigan games were to provide some of the most dramatic moments of Super League 8. Their first encounter was a delayed round 7 match at Headingley. Mark Calderwood providing the first try. And here's a drive in for the line, and that's a try, I think, for Sculthorpe.
Great little chip over.
Wonderful chip. Oh, the ball has bounced here.
Oh, it's a knock-on.
Well, the referee hasn't given it, and Tickle will go over. Here is Sinfield, and here goes Gary Colley. He's got support inside Maguire. He breaks the first tackle, and Leeds score through the magical young Danny Maguire. He's got Radlinski to beat. He's got support from Rob Burrow, and Wigan won't stop this fellow. He's over under the sticks. Great try. Wonderful try from Burrow. That's one. Sculthorpe. He gets another try.
What an effort. What a score. Brilliant stuff.
Danny Sculthorpe's second try of the night. It's with Maguire. Danny Maguire hits the post.
Unbelievable. They did everything right, apart from the fact it didn't go 2 inches to the right.
Everybody knows he's the rock of
The champions were rocked by Wakefield in round 9. The Fijian star was Wassili Sovatabua, silencing the Knowsley Road crowd as Wakefield claimed their first win at St Helens in 23 years. Jamie Rooney's drop goal and a dip in form were starting to take their toll on Ian Millwood's men.
I think the big effect on our players in the losing run is they've never been through that before, and the coach hasn't been through it. So it was a great learning curve for us. We had a lot of rumours on and off the field, which were totally unfounded, and that does affect people's confidence, especially the players. So it was a time for us to stick solid with each other. It was a time for us to work harder. You can lie to other people, but you can't lie to yourself, and and we knew we just had to work hard. And it was disappointing, all the innuendo. I think that comes with a successful club, and there was a lot of awful speculation. And you know, I think we're all better people for it. And you soon find out who your friends are during that period too.
Despite losing key players through injuries, Hull were out to prove they were still serious top 6 contenders. And at Headingley, against the Rhinos, Colin Best and company hit top form. Diskin, Sinfield, that's the kick, slides it through again. Oh, it's come up for somebody, and poaching. Diskin, not the best pass, Sinfield, McKenna. Darryl Powell shakes the head. Sean McRae believes that maybe Hull are going to go home with a point. Prescott has kicked faultlessly all night. They've got their point. They have their point.
It's a great example of a fair draw. I think that the first 40 minutes we totally dominated, and I think the second 40 minutes Leeds won that 40 minutes. And I think that that's fair to say that 10-all, it would have been unfair, I think, for one side to have won or lost that game.
Sean McRae's men went one better in round 11, putting even more pressure on St Helens. Kirk Yeaman's try getting Hull off to a great start at the KC Stadium. Oh, that's a cruel bounce. It's even crueler for Gleeson. Play on. Yeaman has got Prescott. Prescott is heading for the line. Darren Albert's after him. Prescott for the line against Albert. Brilliant try. Prescott with the try for Hull.
Yeah, that was a fantastic occasion, right in front of the St Helens fans. I did a nice dive right in front of them. That was for them.
It's Yeaman again. Flings the ball back. Barnett. Barnett on to Colin Best. Last tackle it is. Looking to offload. He does! Duncan! Glenn Duncan, third try. Trista. Infield to Carvel. Back it goes to Richard Horne. Prescott, quick hands. Duncan. Duncan gets it away to Colin Best. Colin Best gets away from one. Oh, how's that? How's that from Colin Best? Richard Horne. And Cook, oh, cut out pass. Coelov. Try for Toa Coelov. Oh, interception here. Colin Best. Colin Best gets another. His second try.
The crowd tonight really got behind us, and I just can't believe the atmosphere over here. It's just sensational, and to beat the champions like that, it's just tremendous.
Leeds suffered their first defeat of the season at the hands of the Bulls, a win which put Bradford top of the table for the first time in Super League 8. London's remarkable away record continued with a win against Wakefield in round 11. Dennis Moran worked his magic, scoring a hat-trick before flying back to Sydney after a family bereavement. And after the break, Moran's amazing achievement, 12,000 miles and 12 points. And the month the Giants became the Giant Killers. Simply would never...
Here in the past. And, you know, anyone at the club this season, none of us were here in the past couple of seasons when there was a bit of mismanagement and things like that. So it was nothing that we could control, and all we could control was just trying to improve and do our best every week, and that's what we continue to do.
With starman Dennis Moran still in Australia following a family bereavement, London coach Tony Ray knew playing Bradford at Odsal would be a daunting task.
Tony rang me when I was in Australia and said, asked me if I could come back, because I asked me if I could stay with my family for a week. And I spoke to my parents about it, and they said, you know, you've got other duties to fulfil, and so got away and jumped back on the plane.
We didn't see Dennis until lunchtime, and everybody was you know, as you are, you're keen to see how he's coming in. And Dennis come up the lift to the hotel, and I guess after travelling and having a tough week with was for him with the death in the family, well, the way he come up the stairs, we were all sitting up there having a coffee, having a little lunch just before the game, 3 hours to kick off, and Dennis has come up the stairs and just smiled, just bounced up the stairs and knew straight away he was here to play. And I think everyone thought, well, if he's done all that, you know, we're gonna do our bit here, you know. And so from that moment on, I don't think the game was in any doubt.
And just a few hours after stepping off the plane, Moran wowed the crowd, scoring 3 tries. It was an incredible feat. 2 hat-tricks in 8 days, flying right round the world, 24,000 miles in between 6 tries.
We got to the game and, you know, I didn't know really how to feel. So I might as well just get out here and do my best. I'm back now and this is what I'm here for, so just going to go out and play my best footy.
Well, he'd just gotten off a plane as well, Dennis Moran. That was a final thing. I was working with, he had 5 days preparation in the eye, he would have scored 6.
By round 12, it seems St Helens could do nothing right. Despite being at full strength against the Warrington Wolves, they had to settle for a draw. Fullback Lee Penny scoring the equaliser.
Saints at that point had a real serious point to prove. You know, Paul Sculthorpe just getting back of the swing of things. He'd been out for a few weeks. Saints not in the greatest of form, but they put a couple of wins in before that game and came to Wilderspool, traditionally in Super League, a game that Saints win comfortably.
Warrington stumbled the following week against a Wakefield side that on their day could trouble any team in Super League 8.
I remember being in the dressing room and you just get there's just like an atmosphere that you just know that you're going to do well today. That game, I really thought when we went out we were really going to win, despite Warrington really been playing well at the time. And when we got kicked off and got playing, you could still sense that we were going to do well, and we did.
I think Warrington came here probably expecting to win, and we started really well and got a good lead on them, and they never headed us. And I think that you know, it's like, I think the example of the competition all this year. I think that any team's capable of beating any other team, and if you go somewhere and you're not fully prepared, and the other side is, doesn't matter where they are on the ladder, they'll roll you. And I think a few of the top sides found that out this year.
Inconsistency and complacency, I think, are just 2 nicer words. We were dishonest. We went to Wakefield and we didn't show them the respect that they deserve and the respect that we needed to show them, and they absolutely thumped us.
St Helens were looking to avenge their round 6 defeat by Wigan, but a young unknown warrior was to emerge as the hero of the day. This is Cunningham, now long, here is Sculthorpe, he's found Wellens, Wellens to Gleeson, Gleeson goes inside, Kevin Brown, Gleeson, what a start for the Saints, what a start for St Helens. All the way, Stewart the dummy half, long again with the kicking, crossfield kick from him this time. Palmed back, Farrell's after it, so is Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe picks it up, gives it brilliantly to Darren Smith. Here is Chris Joint. Is it going to be a special from Saints? Joint gets it away to Gardner. Wellington is inside. What a try! What a try from St Helens!
I know it was 20 points to 0 up just before half time, and a couple of bad mistakes. I don't think we kicked the ball in touch, and they went up the field and scored a try, and then we dropped the ball again on our 40, and you can't give possession away like that. You know, to Wigan, they're going to punish you, and they did.
Newton gives it to Robinson! Try for Wigan! Right on the bell, as traditionally they do. Ball out behind him, play on the bounce, and there's a chance here for Brown, and Brown has scored! Just check in. Newton, Nick Graham, drifts the kick in. There's a chance for Robinson! He scored! Luke Robinson! Newton just delays, finds land, there's a gap, goes wide. Here's Kevin Brown again! Kevin Brown's second try! Wigan looking to drive the first nail in that lid. Robinson! What a try! A hat-trick for Robinson! Wow! Mark this fella's name down!
Luke, that's the stuff that dreams are made of for a young player, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I'm in a comic book, innit? I've come out the Euro, just great for the lads, really. You know, we've been taking a bit of stick lately and we've just finally shown what we can do. I'm just glad I get a little watch, because Kev's been showing his off what Steve will give him, so finally I've got one.
St Helens needed to get back to the winner's circle and were looking to topple the Leeds Rhinos, who by now had reclaimed top spot. Kick over the top to Aidy Gardner's wing. It's a horrible bounce, and Calderwood has swooped. He's given it to Shep Walker, and Shep Walker plunks it down. What a mistake by Aidy Gardner. What a try from Shep Walker. Diskin, Sinfield, looks left and right, and they're flooding forward. Ferner, flip pass to Cummins. Great try. Stewart finds Long. There's the kick to the in-goal area. Oh, it's bounced horribly. Could be a try here for Cunningham. Long will attack the line. Good ball to Sculthorpe. He gets away from Duneman. Feeds Wellens. Wellens tries to come inside too and does. Wellens over the line. What an effort. What an effort from Paul Wellens. Sinfield with the penalty, hits the post and slides over. The luck is going the Rhinos' way. Brian Noble's Bradford side battled it out in a game that went right down to the wire. An unfortunate mistake by Dean Gaskell, who must have wished they had a video referee on duty, but it was the winning score for Scott Naylor. The wounded Wolves didn't stay down for long, though. Graham Appo was emerging as an unexpected star, and his 2 tries frustrated the life out of Neil Kelly's Widnes.
I actually think on the day we were the better side, but unfortunately we slipped up, and you know we were a little bit generous in a couple of situations. And Graham Appo, who was starting to have a run at standoff for Warrington, I think he scored a couple of tries and interception against us, and you know. Shane Millard knocked on over the line in the dying seconds, and that game could have gone either way, and ultimately I'd probably say it was significant in us not getting to a playoff.
And Wigan looked like they had the Indian sign over the Bulls in 2003, even at Odsal Stadium. Graham teasing the line, and they were just delaying. That's 3 tackles gone, halfway through this set of 6. Newton the dummy half. The runner is Farrell. Deacon jinking inside, Gareth Hock gets the pass away, that's going to be a try. Lam played it, and Robbie Paul touches it down. Farrell, that ball bounces unkindly. It's a try here. It's a try for Danny Tickle. James Lowe's the dummy half. Will come down the left-hand side and find Forshaw. He offloads to Lowe's brilliantly, and Lowe's has got Deacon, and there's the try that Bradford needed. There's the try the Bulls needed from Paul Deacon. Lamb to Graham. He deserves this. Nick Graham deserves this. And look at what it means to this Wigan side. Arriving next at Odsal was a fiery Saints side who proved they still had championship qualities.
We went to there, it was a very rainy night, miserable night at Odsal. And we went out there playing our simplest game plan we played all season, and because you know St Helens can throw the ball about a bit too much sometimes, and we just stuck to the game plan that day, and we was all up for the game because you know we won. We've not won there in years.
Here's Mickey Hyam. What a great try! Mickey Hyam for St Helens. Lowe's the dummy half for Bradford. Pass to Deacon. Deacon with the kick. Oh, charge down! Mickey Hyam again! Hyam is away, he's got the legs!
Short eyes, plenty of pace, this kid.
Hyam's second try for St Helens. Sculthorpe with a kick early. It's an invitation here. Cunningham. He's long. Runners out wide. Another tester for Vainikolo. Oh, doesn't look terribly convincing. What's he doing?
It's Price, he's lost it. What on earth was he trying to do, Leon Price?
It was Price.
He drifted out to the left wing. He scored!
The try will be given here. Cunningham to Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe's there!
Is there all right?
Try for Paul Sculthorpe. It was a horror night for Bradford. Things got even worse when their captain, Robbie Paul, broke his arm, and he wouldn't be seen again until the grand final.
I think our performance against Leeds was our best performance of the year. It came very close a few weeks later, and it came at a time when we were probably playing our best football of the season.
The Leeds game was probably our perfect game. We went out there, defended well, won the ruck, and our kicking game was great. And that, it may sound funny, but for me, I felt that was our easiest win, in the sense that we completed everything, done the simple things right, and I never felt once that they were going to beat us.
Despite having a great away record, the Broncos were still searching for their first win of the season at Griffin Park. Tony Ray aimed to put things right for the match against Hull.
What I'd noticed as I get to the game, and the players were showing up as if they were showing up for training in terms of intensity. Pre-game, a little bit too much chitty chatter, a little bit too much what'd you do yesterday, what'd you watch on TV, rather than if you've been together on a bus and the weekend together, that stuff's all gone and you're starting to zero in on game time. And we just had to discuss it. We just kept going through, and I had to work it through with them. There was individual responsibility to change their pattern and to realise that you come to game for game.
As well, try saver.
They're going to the left-hand side, and here is Nigel Roy, and he's over, I think, Roy. Moran finds Martin. They have Andrew King on the overlap. Martin cuts inside. Ball went to ground, and Dennis Moran was hunting, and now it's with Colin Best, and Colin Best is very quick, and Colin Best, I think, has got the legs on Dennis Moran. Moran comping the legs, trying to catch him, but Best will touch down for Hull. A try from nothing from the men from the KC Stadium. This is Moran. Moran stabs the ball through. Martin scored.
I can remember Colin Best scoring 2 tries, but his second try to get us back, I believe, to 20-all with the kick, with the conversion, he had to beat a number of players, and it was another one of those tries that there is probably a handful of people in the game that could score.
On one knee, gets it away to Treaster. Great harrying, though, there by the number 29, Tommy Gallagher. Ball went backwards, and Colin Best has made the break. It's Best against London. He's got no support. Best! Oh, magnificent! Magnificent try from Colin Best. Huddersfield collected another big scalp in round 17, and even a hat-trick from Brett Dallas couldn't knock the Giants off course.
See different Wigan and Leeds sometimes when you're playing for Bradford than you do when you play for Huddersfield, and you can catch these sides out a little bit cold sometimes, and once you get into the game, if they act quite on it, it's very, very difficult for them to turn it back around. So we learned that a little bit from the Saints game.
The Giants were enjoying a long, hot summer, and their season hit new heights in July when Leeds were in town.
I think I used the phrase around that time that we're a team of no-names. It was around the representative stages, and we didn't have any players in the rep teams, and I use that phrase, and I mean it in the nicest way to my players, because they're really, to me, they weren't no-names.
Quick play the ball. That's not what Huddersfield want them to do. Sinfield to MacDonald. He offloads it back to Sinfield, who does well to pick up the ball and score a fine try. Oh, great stop. Wonderful step. Great try. Oh, it was knocked out of his hands. Maguire. Is this a kick to beat the Aussies or what? Costin. Costin. Costin to win it. What an effort. What a wonderful effort from that man. We'd seen Huddersfield's first win against Leeds since 1965. Hull's season was in danger of collapsing. Injuries meant they were no match for a Widnes outfit marshalled by Jules O'Neill.
Early season we actually thought Hull could be dark horses to actually win the whole competition. Obviously injuries undermined their season, and I think we got them just at the point when they were starting to suffer significant injuries, but still had a very good side out when we played them, and we were able to continue the good form we'd shown the previous week at Saints and against Leeds a couple of weeks earlier.
Off-field dramas at the Jungle saw Castleford captain Danny Orr announce his intention to move to Wigan at the end of the season.
I wanted to tell Graham that I wouldn't be at Castleford next year was heart-wrenching really, because I've been there since I was 15, 16 years old. Steady's had a big part to play in that, and I got my respect for him, and to tell him that I wouldn't be there, well, it was very emotional. I couldn't get my words out, so that was hard. And then on the back of that, I know that the fans wouldn't be too pleased, and they're rightly so, they're entitled to their opinion, but they'll show, let the feelings be known.
Been thinking about the future.
Last one, Hudson. Hudson inside to Orr. That's a great try. Danny Orr. That was a great charge down. Danny Orr. What a night Danny Orr is having. Second try for Danny Orr.
I knew I still had a job to do with Castleford, and I just wanted to do that to the best of my ability. And I'm a Wigan player next season. I was going to be a Wigan player next season, but still a Castleford player. And like I did every game, I always go out to do my best, and nothing changed.
Cunningham. Cunningham with a great break, heading to the corner. Cunningham over the top to Hyam. That's another superb try. And Mickey Hyam's come up with his second. Healy. Oh, interception. Sean Long is away. They won't catch him. He's over underneath the sticks. Sean Long for St Helens. Oh, brilliant hands. Great stuff. Here is Eager. They deserve a try for this, and they're going to get one. And it is the hat-trick for Danny Orr. Wigan's journey to Brentford to face London was rewarded with 2 vital points, but there were changes afoot behind the scenes. After the game, Stuart Raper told his team he would be leaving at the end of the season. Raper would be on the beach in 2004, or would he? A week's a long time in rugby league. Widnes arrived at the JJB Stadium to face the Warriors, a side whose coach was now uncertain of his future. Ball back, this is Dion Bird. It is from Sheridan high, and it's another one to test Carney. Oh, he doesn't get it. Andy Hay does and gets the try. Sheridan! Sheridan on the break. He's given it to Millard. Millard scores. O'Neill's kick. Oh, Potter! Potter has scored!
What on earth is happening to this Wigan outfit?
A late comeback from Wigan wasn't enough. The loss against Widnes was the catalyst for Wigan and their coach to part company. Assistant coach Mike Gregory stepped in as caretaker. So it was goodbye and thanks to Stuart Raper. In the same week, Huddersfield coach Tony Smith also announced he'd be leaving the Giants after watching his side continue their successful home run against Hull.
Emotional time, and it had been a fairly big roller coaster for me because I made that announcement on the Monday after the Hull game, which worked out fine for announcement time, but I'd actually told the board about 3 weeks before, and I hadn't told the players at that stage, so I had to face up to the players the next day and talk to them. It's something that I carried around, and I wasn't enjoying carrying that around at that stage, so it was a strange time for me.
Leeds hit the headlines the following week. Darryl Powell announcing he would take on a new role at Leeds as Director of Football, leaving the coaching position open for Tony Smith.
Over that weekend, that whole weekend, I actually was approached by Leeds and I got appointed on the Tuesday night after the whole match. But I spent 3 weeks wondering where my future was going to be, and it was a bit nerve-wracking for my family and myself. And fortunately, somebody came in and recognised that I could coach okay, and things worked out. But yeah, there was a bit of criticism came my way because of the closeness of the announcements. I think a lot of people thought that I'd had the Leeds job in the bag, but no. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. It would have been nice to know a little earlier. It was a bit nerve-wracking at the time, but things worked out, and it's worked out well for Huddersfield as well.
It certainly came a couple of days after we learned what was happening to Chev and Ryan as well, and there were two massive losses for us, and I think losing them was a turning point in the season as well. I think we missed them a great deal.
Chev Walker and Ryan Bailey were sent to a Young Offenders Institute after an incident outside a Leeds nightclub. The Rhinos went to Hull without them. And the win put Leeds back on top of the table.
Just want to say that, obviously this game the boys want to dedicate it to a couple of absent friends. And, it's all about trying to get us together as a side, and we've got some big games ahead, and obviously semi-finals after that.
Mike Gregory's coaching stint at Wigan began with a fierce struggle against his former club Warrington. Craig Smith was outstanding in a game that gave Gregory the start he wanted. The big Kiwi prop forward was on the end of the move that produced the match winner.
Because it was Warrington, because it's, I've had so many years there, and I've got a feeling with the place, and obviously, my relationship with Paul Cullen, I think I put too much pressure on myself, and it was a big emotional game.
Coming next, rejigged Wigan hit their stride at just the right time. 6 clubs were separated by just 10 points. At the top of the best race of all time, the Bulls and the Rhinos continued to swap places. The new League Leaders Trophy was developing into a 2-horse race. St Helens and Hull, despite being docked 2 points, remained in contention for the playoffs. For Warrington, Castleford and London, it was still all to play for. And so the scene was set for a battle royal in round 22. The top of the table clash between the Bulls and the Rhinos would put one team 2 points clear. The crowds flocked to Headingley on a glorious night. It was Super League's best attendance of the year outside the grand final. Ferner, Duneman, here's the kick. It goes wide. Tester for Vainikolo, comes up with the goods.
What a take!
Cleanly, he's away. Vainikolo's away. Calderwood has missed him. Vainikolo's going all the way. Vainikolo for Bradford, underneath the post. Diskin gives it a bit of space to Duneman. Duneman attacking the line, looping past to Connolly. Connolly's got by Kona. He's in, is Connolly. Here's Maguire. Danny Maguire attacking the line. Here's Senior. He's over. This is James Lowes, and this is a walk-in try for Rob Parker. here is Lowe's. Bradford have upped the gear. Deacon. Peacock on the burst. Jamie Peacock. Jamie Peacock to the line. Yes, Jamie Peacock. No, it's Forshaw.
We had a bit of a mental barrier over us in the end. We just couldn't seem to turn them over and get on top of them.
18-16, I think it was, and I just to those games you wage, because you can't do anything about it. But credit to Leeds, they were they're a fantastic team, and they kept trying to find ways to beat us. And we, at that point, you know, we kept finding ways to think, well, you ain't going to beat us. So our defence was pretty good at that part of the year, but it needs to be in this competition. You know, we probably, it was a win for the defence that day, I think.